sweet Mother Mary. Somebody need to go check on Gavin Newsom, okay? So apparently he woke up yesterday thinking he was Moses, Mother Teresa, and Joel Osteen, all wrapped up into one California hair gel dispenser. Boy, bye. Because Gavin, sweetheart, you can take this fake compassion tour that you displayed yesterday in that press conference, and you can shove it right up where the sun don't shine. Because anybody with more than 2 working brain cells is buying this. You really stood in that press conference, quoting Matthew 25 and 35, like you've been running Sunday school out of the freaking governor's mansion. And sir, just from my observation over the years, I don't think you've even touched the Bible unless you needed a prop for an Easter photo. Sir, the only scripture I think you will ever follow is thou shalt blame everyone else. Getting up there saying, we need to feed the hungry. Oh wow, thank you, Captain Obvious. We never thought of that. I mean, next week, what are you going to tell us? That water is wet and gravity works? Let me put you on to something there, Gavin. America, we've been feeding the hungry.
Gavin Newsom at it again.
Jonathan Karl even looked a bit flabbergasted when Gavin Newsom came out with that one. Well, Kate, I think he brought it up himself, unprompted.
Yeah, I'm sure he did, like he does many things. He's been in so many interviews lately. He just tries to connect with whatever he thinks that the person interviewing him cares about. And he didn't even stop his gaslighting when the man clearly looked at him like, no, you're going the wrong direction, about face immediately. The man knows no bounds to whatever he will say to get elected. He's embarrassing. He and I...
Yes, Majority Taylor Greene will be on The View next week. What I see on social media about this is extremely concerning.
In Washington are starting to say, my constituents, they're starting to remember why they're there. Yeah. Because you don't get there without people putting you there and remembering that those same people can pull you out of there. And that's why when you said Marjorie Taylor Greene, I'm happy to say that she's going to be here on Tuesday.
Oh,
yeah.
It's election day.
Because
it happens to be election day.
And I don't know how many things we agree on, but I know the one thing that she and I and all of us at this table agree on is this should not be affecting the American people.
Yes, it is quite shocking to see The View now sounding this way. They are accepting Majority Taylor Greene. If you watch their previous videos, you can clearly see how they used to trash her. Now they look at her like a hero simply because she is now talking like a Democrat. Let me see what she would do on The View. If she is able to bring up, what Republican stands for, maybe these people will not invite her back. There is something happening. Gavin Newsom is spreading around some kind of things on social media like, the midterm elections will be rigged. Trump want to do this, want to do that. These same people, during that period with Biden, they said, you're election denier, you're election denier. But now they're agreeing with Gavin Newsom on this. When I saw that video, I had to watch all through. I just want to show you something happened. Alyssa blow off on them. They didn't expect this at all.
About something you said. You said Democrats, there are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You said that back in January. But recently, you've been using the term rigged elections in reference to the upcoming midterms. Democrats were appalled when President Trump used language like that. How do you justify using that now? Doesn't that undermine faith for voters? You need to show up.
No, I've been using that term in the context of Donald Trump's unprecedented effort to gerrymander congressional maps in a partisan fashion all across the country in order to rig the midterm elections and deny the ability of the American people to actually decide who should be in the majority as it relates to the House of Representatives.
Democrats are also going through gerrymandering and redistricting.
No. Well, Democrats are going to push back aggressively to make sure that we have fair maps across the country, not partisan gerrymandering, which Republicans have initiated in state after state after state.
And The View is celebrating this. These liberal media are all hypocrite. These same people were there, Trump is doing this, he's doing this, it's a threat to democracy because of this same phrase. They are using it now everywhere. Gavin Newsom is singing this like a song. I want you to see what happened on The View.
And educated
Why is
and
Trump
voted
sending in election
let's-
monitors to California?
But
Why is Trump sending people there?
But I think it's one thing for pundits and for spectators to say, I'm concerned that there will be free and fair elections again. I think it is wholly irresponsible for the governor of the most populous state, who, by the way, oversees elections in his own state. He oversees the cybersecurity infrastructure. He oversees the Secretary of State, down to poll watchers, to election workers. Gavin Newsom has a lot of power in this.
Why are there federal monitors, though?
He could at minimum say, I can promise you California will have a free and fair election, and I'll work with every governor to make sure that there's no efforts to undermine them. But that's not what he's doing.
How does he do that when Donald Trump is sending federal monitors
because
into
he's the
his
chief
state?
executive of the state. Monitors, we need to know what that means. I do think it's an alarming
sound
phrase.
like election intimidators?
But you also have a governor with his
like.
own authorities in the state. And for him to say this, it reminds me very much of the gerrymandering debate. So everyone is angry when Texas redraws congressional maps to add more Republican seats.
Yeah.
They're cheating. It's rigged. So California responds by cheating and rigging it by adding more Democratic seats.
What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to just let them do it?
No, you're supposed to safely secure your elections and tell your voters you can trust voting in California.
Yeah, what do you do with
What are you
that?
supposed to do with that?
You should challenge it at the state level. Former Governor Schwarzenegger talked about this. There's a process to do it in California. There's a process in Texas. Change the laws so that people cannot do.
You can't change the laws when the Republicans are in charge in Texas. Can't do it.
I fled communism. I fled authoritarianism, as you guys know, when I was a child. And the things that I'm seeing happen in this country, I never thought I would see happen in this country. I never thought I would see and think, from my personal experience, I look at this and I really feel we need to be vigilant. And we just need to see it's like every day it's something different. It's the tearing up of the East Wing. It's election.
It's very painful, to realize that somebody is just following your footsteps. Democrats were doing this for a very long time, and Republicans were silent. They were not doing it. Now Texas realized it and came forward to just, do what they've been doing for a very long time. It became something big in the Democrat Party. They should be ashamed, to even be talking about this. Yeah, because you have no justification. If you are telling me I'm doing a wrong thing, then at the same time you are doing that same thing, then I don't know if this is right. Gavin Newsom accused Texas Republicans of doing this, then now doing the same thing. You can't correct a wrong thing by doing a wrong thing. That is very impossible. I don't know why they always preach, this every single time. Then at the third point, they do something contrary. Gavin Newsom is doing this to trend. I understand, because he wants to run for president, but he should know something. People know who he is. Yeah. No matter how you struggle to, it doesn't work that way. People know he's a controversial person. Watching interviews, I see people actually pointing out, like, this man can't win the general election. The view sitting here, they are praising him. I actually like what Alyssa did here. That was impressive. I'm going to end the video here. I want to appreciate people supporting me, sharing out the videos. As of the short clips, that is for the YT algorithm. You can skip.
You're not ready. And that was my first instinct.
Should have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us.
It's
History.
point when I say I'm not going to be apocalyptic.
He even gets an off
If the Democrats
thing, because how many times somebody asks
for
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States. If you want to serve in the American...
Give interviews, I don't do that.
J.D. Vance should be the next president of the United States.
Happening at the moment.
Yeah.
President Obama
Is blatant censorship.
Because he says he has a team of fact checkers.
The FCC.
want them to stop fooling around with my right to say what I feel.
Americans, it's a part of who we are.
Because that is really something that didn't happen before.
Does anybody else watch The View? Because I think there's...
I'm going to say one.
Look, there are certain rules of free speech that we must all abide by. But in case anyone needs a refresher, we're going to go over the rules again.
He does not have a right to have a television show.
to spreading lies.
Somebody to get up there, not
all the same people that are in these polite...
Disagree with what Gavin Newsom said, that he doesn't...
Dave Chappelle.
Out of interest.
Listen, I'm waiting on a reporter, and maybe it'll be you, Caitlin.